All right, shalom, shalom, peace and blessings to everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time it is. Right now I'm just giving you guys a tour of our homestead. So just a little backstory: we live on 5.8 acres, so that's just under 6 acres. Set Apart Gardens is the name of our homestead, and basically this is just motivation for black people to just get back to the land. That's what we're trying to push, is black people getting back to the land, getting back to agriculture, farming, all that good stuff, husbandry, you know, raising our own food, raising our own meat, and slaughtering it, harvesting it, whatever you want to call it. You know, so this is the motivation, and I'm just going to give you guys a tour around the homestead to kind of show you what we got going on. All right. So basically this is just the backyard, just for the kids and stuff. We just got stuff in the backyard, garage. We got our porch and everything, side porch. Then this the pickup truck. On the back of it I have our animal transport carrier. So I'm going to pick up 3 sheep tomorrow. 3 sheep that I'm going to have on the land. That we're going to breed and raise for meat. So we're going to harvest our own meat, our own lamb meat. But this is what I got to transport them. Very easy to make. Just use some wood pallets that I got from Lowe's for free, and just drill them together and put them on the back, put a tarp over it, and she good to go. Excuse the mess on the carport, but you know, we just got, you know, a lot of cardboard and stuff. You know, we just moved here about 2 months ago, so we still unpacking and getting everything situated. Here we got the orange tree. So right now I'm just nurturing this. Got this in the container, letting it get sunlight and everything like that. But this is the orange tree. This is a couple of seeds that we started. We got half of them in the ground already, but half of them we still got in the seed starter. I'm probably going to plant the rest of these probably this weekend or next week. So these are our seed starting trays. This is our front yard. This is the first chicken coop I built on this land. I've had chickens previously at my old house in Virginia, but this is our first chicken coop on this land. Right, so we just got some. I got 3. I don't know if you can see in there. I got 3 meat chickens in there. I don't want to open it up right now, but I got 3 meat chickens and I got 9 egg layers. So the meat chickens, they'll be ready to harvest in about maybe 5-6 more weeks. These are the potato patch. I got some potatoes growing. Potatoes grow like crazy. This is our garden right here. Just a little small garden we're just starting off with. But this is what we got going on. I put some black mulch down. I put some cow manure for the plants and everything to give them the right nutrients, and some compost as well. But right here, this is our eggplant row. Then we got some watermelon, sugar baby watermelon right here. Then we got cucumbers, which grow like crazy. Cucumbers. Then we got the tomatoes that are growing in. Then we got the squash and tomatoes. And then we got the corn right here. All right. And this is the front of the house, the front yard. Then we have a wooded area right here that I plan on clearing in the future. Probably dig a pond right there for the fish. So that way we can fish on our land, have our own fish and everything. But yeah, man, I mean, we got a lot going on, but I'm show you the rest of it and everything because we got quite a bit of space to do some things. Let me take you to where I plan on putting a couple of cows at, maybe like 2 cows. Get like 2 miniature cows and breed them as well, but use them as meat as well. Because in the county that I'm in, I'm only allowed to have 1 full-size cow per 5 acres. So I figure if I get 2 mini cows, The breed of cow I'm looking at is Jersey, New Jersey, something. It's something like that. But it's a mini cow, pretty much. They don't get full size, but they're like half of a full size cow. So I plan on getting 2 of those and breeding them and using them for milk and meat. But this is the area where I plan on putting the cows at. This is on the side, and then this is also another little wooded area, but it's also a privacy area because we have neighbors right over there. In there they have a little fishing pond right over there, but this is where they live at. So I'm gonna probably keep this up right here because of the simple fact that it provides privacy. And we got here, there's a fig tree right there. We got a couple of fig trees and blackberry bushes around the property, which is great. So this is also the other side of the side yard. We got a little carport over there in the corner. We have a shed, a little shed over here that the previous owners left, which was a blessing. That's a fig tree right over there too. Right ahead, that's a fig tree right there. And behind it is the shed. I'm not gonna walk all the way over there, but you guys see. Now let me show you another huge part of the land, which is where I'm gonna put the sheep. I'm gonna build a bigger chicken coop. I'm gonna put sheep over here and possibly goats in the future, because we only plan on having cows, sheep, goats, chickens, turkeys, but no unclean animals. You know, we do keep Torah. We do eat, you know, according to the Levitical law. We do keep that diet, keep Torah. You know, I don't want to say kosher because I'm not Jewish. I'm a Hebrew, but you know, and the world would know it as kosher, pretty much. But this right here is the area where I have my compost pile right over here, the beginning of it, what I got. And this is the area where I'm going to keep all the other animals. It's probably like a 2-acre field right here, like 1.5 acres, 2 acres maybe. I already got my sheep shelters built. Like I said, I'm going to get them tomorrow. I got to set my fencing up. But this right here, this is where all the other animals are going to go, right out here in this big old field. And not to mention, I have this other field right on the other side of it, which I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this side. I want to kind of keep it how it is and potentially like put some stuff for, you know, cookouts and get-togethers. Put a little like a little canopy out here, you know, and set it up, you know, so that way tables, and we can have tables, we can have bounce houses, just in case we try to do stuff for the kids. We can put all that over here, you know, away from the animals and everything. But this is another huge part of the land right here. This is one, like I said, I'm going to put a lot of other things, and I might put cows over here too. Might put the cows over here, or horses. We do plan on getting horses as well. My father, he wants to get some horses real bad. He's always wanted horses, so maybe have a horse or 2 or a pony, you know, who knows, over there. But this is the tour of the Set Apart Gardens homestead. And like I said, the reason for this channel is to encourage black people to get back to the land. You know, I always say it, if somebody has the power to feed you, they also have the power to starve you. Let's take away the power. Let's take away the power that we're giving, you know, the government, the institution, other races of people to feed us, and let's start getting back to the land to feed ourselves. Because the first, that can be the first weapon in warfare, is a food shortage. When somebody see black people, we always talking about rising up, and we always talking about all this good stuff. But what we don't realize is how we're gonna rise up if somebody literally is providing most of the food that we eat. Think about that. We can't rise. How are we gonna rise up if we don't even know how to grow our own food and live self-sufficiently? That's the goal, is to live self-sufficiently, so that way we can pretty much make all the calls and on how we live, and we could be our own shot callers. You know what I'm saying? So let's get back to the land. See, a lot of us, we've gotten away from the land because of what slavery did to our ancestors, and we think we associate the land with something negative and something bad. But what we have to realize is that this is why they came and got us in the first place. Well, one of the reasons why they came and got us. The first reason they came and got us because it was prophesied in the Bible that we were going to captivity, and they knew, you know, who we were. They knew the type of people we were. They knew we were Israelites, and they knew, you know, we were favored by the Most High, and we were the chosen people set apart. But also another main reason they came and they got us is because of the simple fact of we were skilled workers. We were skilled in agriculture. We were skilled in carpentry and building. You know what I'm saying? So that plays a main part in why they came and took us as well. I mean, if you look at the people, the Gullah Geechee people, those people were expert agriculturalists. That's why a lot of the effects of slavery didn't really affect them, because yeah, they did have plantations in those parts and everything, but at the same time, a lot of the white people couldn't live in the conditions that those black people lived in, because they lived out on the swampy lands. But they knew how to navigate it. They knew how to grow their food, and they knew how to grow rice. They knew how to grow certain things like that. So that's why they came and got those type of people. Why they came and got us as slaves, because of the simple fact of they knew who we were. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's even what we did all the way even after slavery, all the way into Reconstruction, into sharecropping. That's what we did. We worked the land. That's why they came and got us. It wasn't because they wanted free labor. Well, they did want free labor. It wasn't because of that, but they knew we knew how to work the land. And what has happened in these times is they've taken us away from the land, and they've stripped our knowledge of the land, and now in return we're just dumbed down, and we don't know anything. Because my great-grandparents, my grandma tells me this all the time, my great-grandparents, they had gardens in their backyard. You know, black people had gardens. Black people had chicken coops back in those days when my grandmother was growing up. My grandmother is still alive today. She's in her, I think she just hit 70, or she's in her late 60s, but she was born in the 50s, and her parents had gardens. So she grew up with gardens and chicken coops. And my great-grandmother, who passed away probably like 15 years ago, when I was like 13 or 14, she passed away in her 90s. She lived all the way in her 90s. You know, she, you know, had chicken coops and stuff like that. She knew how to process chickens, and she knew how to have a vegetable garden and all those other different things. You know what I'm saying? In her days. So us as black people know and knew what to do with the land. It's just that nowadays we've been groomed and indoctrinated to go into corporate America, and to, you know, go into all these other different professions, and we don't even consider farming or agriculture anymore. Because, I mean, yes, we have been forced off the land, but we also been indoctrinated to look at other things as more desirable, because we associate the land with slavery, and that's simply not the case. Because food and water is the basic necessities of life. That's what you need to survive. And if you don't have either or, you know what I'm saying? Well, you can survive more on water without food, but you know, if you don't have food at a certain point in time, you're going to die as well. So that's why it's important to know how to grow your own food, know how to harvest your own, you know, water, know how to dig a well, you know what I'm saying, to collect rainwater and different things like that, and just to be as self-sufficient as possible and to move off grid. You know, I know it sounds extreme, but in the times that are coming, it's going to be a necessity. The people who make six figures right now, the people who are in corporate America, or you know, famous on TikTok and all these other things, their dollar isn't going to mean anything in the near future. When, you know, say if the market crashes, the dollar isn't going to be valuable at all. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's important, because the wealthiest people in those days are going to be the people who are self-sufficient, who know how to survive, who have their own vegetables, who have their own meat source, who have their own water source. Those are going to be the people who are valuable. And then we're also able to have a barter and trade system as well. You know what I'm saying? Just hey, you know, I got some meat over here, I'll trade you some meat for some honey or some vegetables or whatever the case may be. Or, you know, in exchange for you helping me build, you know, something, a house or whatever the case may be, I can trade you in this, you know, a barter and trade system. This is how it's always been done, because I'm gonna leave you with this. The thing to remember, all money and currency is resources, right? And so in our times, we know it as a dollar. You know, a dollar represents so many things. A dollar is universal to purchase certain things, but you earn a dollar based off of your working abilities and ability to obtain currency. But at the root of it is resource. It represents resource. It represents oil. It represents gold. It represents food and agriculture. You see what I'm saying? That's why they have to back the dollar with certain things. Like the US backs the dollar with oil, or certain people back their dollar with gold, because the dollar doesn't mean anything. It's just a representation of what's backing it. So like I said, currency at its base, at its foundation, is resources. And what are resources? It could be precious metals, it can be oil, it can be food, it could be water. You see what I'm saying? It could be all these different things, but it's resources at the end of the day. And the goal is not to get as much currency as possible, but to obtain as much resources as possible. That's economics at its foundation, and that's how things were always done in the past. The dollar system and the currency system, it came about as, you know, different world rulers took over, and you know, such as Rome and all these other different world rulers and colonists who wanted to make things simple and wanted to create a system. But even in Africa, before we were colonized, even in Israel, Jerusalem, you know, back when we were in our land before it was colonized, that's how a lot of things were done. I mean, it doesn't, not even in Africa, but all over the world. They had barter and trade systems. That's why you had trade routes. You see what I'm saying? That's why you had, you know, they would exchange slaves for different resources. You see what I'm saying? Because it's all about resources at the end of the day. And that's what we got to realize. Let's stop trying to focus primarily on capital. Although capital is important because we live in a capitalist society, but let's focus on the resources first, because the resource is the foundation of capital. And if we can obtain the resources, we can convert that into capital. So say if, for instance, you started a garden and you plant a crop that, you know, will do well in the market. You plant that crop, people are going to pay you currency for it. So you're going to obtain currency, or you can barter it. You see what I'm saying? So either or, you'll still obtain the currency. You'll still obtain it, but focus on the resource first. You see what I'm saying? It don't even have to be in agriculture. It could be in carpentry. If you know how to work your hands, people are going to either pay you or trade certain things with you, depending on depending on the deal, pretty much, that you want to present, or, you know, the society you live in. It can either be a trade and barter system, or it can be in exchange for capital. So it doesn't really matter. But the fact is, let's focus on the resources, black people. When we focus on the resources, then we're going to excel a lot further, because the resources is what's valuable, not the dollar. That's why it's foolish of us to post pictures. We got money all up and down our arm, we flashing money. And I used to do it too. Like I come from the hood too. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm from Jacksonville. I'm from the north side of Jacksonville, Florida. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, the murder rate through the roof. You know, I grew up around all that. I grew up repping hoods. I grew up, on all that. So I know what it's like. You feel what I'm saying? I know what it's like to just have a little something and want to flash it. But what I'm saying is as I've gotten older and my mindset has evolved, and I've traveled. You feel what I'm saying? I've traveled with the military. I travel outside of the military as well. I've seen different cultures. I've read books. I've read a lot of books, and I've been around people who have money. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm telling you is, it profits us nothing, to just be flashy and buy all of these different things that don't mean anything but only depreciate in value instead of focusing on the resources. The foundation is the resource, and the foundation is what's most valuable. When the Depression happened, people had wheelbarrows full of money, full of paper dollars that didn't mean a thing. But the people who prospered were the people who had tangibles and resources. So let's focus on the resource, and let's get back to the land. Let's get back to the land. And with that, I'm gonna say peace. I'm gonna say shalom, and peace and blessings to all. Hope this message reaches who it needs to reach, and I hope those, whoever it reaches, they take heed. And I'm here to help. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a person in the community that's here to help. So with that, I'm gonna just say shalom.